Hello peeps, GSV peeps, Kitty, Tom, whoever's watching and all. Here we are again down in Oxygen Not Included, and I suppose put a floor across there. It's alright, so just so when you come back, you can't remember what you were doing or why you were doing it. Yes, no, yes, maybe. Right, first things first then, let's I remember taking away these, so let's get rid of some of these spare plugs a minute, and might think of what we've got there. I can uproot that. Yeah. That'll give us two blossom. Oh no, I've got two blossom seeds already. Well, there's a third one anyway. Right, so the sort of thinking round here I was going to try and grow some stuff maybe, except it's polluted, so that's not too bad. Tick, 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 tick. Then I was going to start making our oxygen, hydrogen, blub, 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 blub. But sort of the last map we did, we had a huge area of polluted oxygen where we could do that. Now when we start getting into these swamp biomes, or whatever the green biomes, swampy, greeny, smelly biomes, then we will have some of this polluted oxygen around. At the moment this natural gas seems to be a problem, so I think perhaps the first thing to do, certainly so we can clear it out of the way, and it'll make a little bit more room for oxygen, because at the moment I've got a little bit of polluted oxygen up here, lots of decent oxygen, so look at the overlay, see lots of decent breathable oxygen, and down here we've got the natural gas, and then right at the bottom we've got the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is not a bit of a problem at the moment, but the natural gas is. And we also seem to be a bit low on power. That's because of this stuff here. Now, we've ran out of sort of hydrogen, and my guys aren't really running quick enough to keep the batteries topped up. So if I put a hydrogen, it seems to sit here-ish, so if I could put here a hydrogen alongside of a carbon dioxide, so when the carbon dioxide gets up here we get rid of the carbon dioxide, get the hydrogen up here, we get rid of the hydrogen, put it on a switchable system. Not too sure quite, there isn't a gas type valve yet, but there is a pressure one, and I don't know if I can make that work with it, otherwise it's going to be manually thingied, changed. So yeah, I'm going to put a natural gas generator down here. Now a natural gas generator from the last game, we knew it produced, I think I'm going to have to dig this little lot out and let the carbon dioxide sink, but I can put a natural gas generator in there. Actually cancel that, I want to bring it back a little bit further. Let's put it back here, because carbon dioxide we know will get squished down here. I think this is all to do with because I'm producing oxygen here and it's making it all flit out, it's pushing it, squishing it that way. I think if we put everything more central, which is not what I wanted, because I wanted to collect the hydrogen in one corner over here, so it's all sort of, I don't know whether the last few bases I've made, it's all sort of gone slanty, it doesn't come down flat. That's not a problem, because I can use that to my advantage. So yes, we'll put, so we've got our generator in there, and I want to put gas plumbing, a gas pump in there, and I think we'll make this little area down here, depends how far up the water's going to come, but I think we'll make, we'll take all this out and dig like I was going to do. There'll be plenty of room for water when we actually do dig through. How am I going on with the drop down? Yeah, they're getting there. So gas pump, gas pipe from out here, run it under here. Oh, no, no, come on. That's it, under the floor and up into there. That's good. And then this gas pipe, actually what we can do with this gas pipe is I can run it across here, down here, and then under this one, down to here. So I'll pump the carbon dioxide there. Is that going to be a bit... Yeah, we'll have to see. I might end up putting this somewhere slightly differently, but let's just cancel that, that, and that. I need to put a gas vent in there, and obviously we need some wiring. That's something else we're going to have to think about in a bit, because we're going to start overloading things. So one there, and I think, yeah, we'll run wire under there and up into there. Oh, and I do want, actually, thinking about it, plumbing. I want a filter in there as well, really. So let's turn that round, put that in there, deconstruct that bit of pipe there, and we'll take the filtered stuff out and run it into that pipe. So cancel gas pipes, that one, and that one. And we'll take the outlet, anything that isn't this, so if it's oxygen that comes down here, that might pump stuff up through. We'll have to see. Might be that if I'm sucking carbon dioxide, I can chuck it back out here. Actually, perhaps I do want to chuck it out somewhere separate, but... And then, yeah, I want to dig out the area below it, so let's make it a mesh tile. Bring it all the way across here. So I'll make this a mesh tile as well, really. So, no. There, make that a mesh tile. Cancel, dig, buildings, that there. Now do a dig order for that little lot. Plus that, and actually what I want to do as well is build a quick do ladders, I think, come across here and dig that little lot out as well. So that should, well, oh, I need to just wire in, that's something I've forgotten, just wire in that. And then I want to put, I'm going to put a thermal switch in there. So that'll get rid of the natural gas. And while we're at it, let's plumb in a air scrubber. An air scrubber. Bad English there. Put it in there. While we're also at it, let's get rid of that. And I want to put perhaps a little bit of flooring. Perhaps I'll just continue this flooring across here. So let's get rid of that ladder. Ladder. Deconstruct that ladder, and we'll go for some more mesh tiling. Put that across there as well. But one more bit of ladder to make that fit in there. And once they build that, we can figure out where the plumbing's going to go. I'm not 100% sure, because I'm doing what I normally do, and that is don't plan. I mean, once this is all fresh, we've got rid of all this. I'll have no problems fitting. Yeah, I can just take it straight off of there. So, coming back up to my drop then. Oh, they haven't got... Did I do the priority? Yeah, it's all 5 there, so let's make that a 7 right up to the last bit, really. Right, so also want to prioritise this natural gas now. It's starting to become a bit of a problem, so let's prioritise that as well. Right, let me crack on and build that. A bit of attention to pay up here, but this isn't a priority. But I'll plan it out and let them build it at a rate they choose. And I think, I mean, okay, we're only producing micro mushes at the moment. Need to get into food. Yeah, need to get into food. So, I'm not going to bring in another guy just yet. Yes, there is. Diver's lungs, -20. Oh, I like him. Yeah, come on, Ada, you can come in. Let's give you a cot. Well, I've got a cot for you, that's no problem. I do need to give you... make some more mess tables up. Let's put some mess tables over there. There's no reason we got a bit of wheel or something there as well, so... Right, I'll let them build all that, and I'll bring you back, because there is something I've noticed. When you come into the consumables here, I haven't picked anybody of standard, no way. But the longer they're in, it looks like their expectation goes up, which is a bit of a problem, because I was leaving food till later. But if their expectations go up, then obviously their stress level's going to go up, because they're not getting the food they require. So actually food becomes a higher priority, not just the amount of it, but the quality of it. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. Let's give them some storage. And yes, not 100% sure what we're going to do about that. We need to think about farming sooner rather than later. So yeah, they haven't quite finished down here yet, but I'll get around to it. So they wanted to go to sleep now. I'll just turn you off. I like the sliders on these thermal switches now. Easier than just going click, 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 click. So, right, bring it back in a bit. We're back, and things are slowly progressing. Guys aren't particularly... they're a little bit stressed out, actually. I might need a couple more tables up here. You can see we've got 74, 51. It's only Rowan and Abe. I'm not too sure quite why Rowan... Why's... Hang on, vitals. Why's Abe... Dirty hands, chilly surroundings. Really? Where are you, Abe? I didn't think it was chilly there. Let's have a quick look at the temperature overlay. No, that's not chilly there. But it is getting chilly. I have got a bit of a problem with cold coming across the base from here. Might need to put a couple more of my warmer things over there, maybe some more batteries or something. But what I have got going on is... well, they've finished this down here, so I am slowly taking rid of this, and I've had to... Oh, let's just plug that in. There's my electrical wire, make that a 9. The CO2 is obviously pushing the natural gas up, and this is not sort of reaching it, so I need to perhaps let's turn that off for the minute. But I am getting a little bit of circuit overload damage happening now. I don't know if this is a new thing or not. I think you just get overloaded and just stop, but now you get circuit overload damage. Spotted something down here. I expect it was a wire, and something over here. Whether it was the wire or whether it was the machinery itself, I don't know. But there we go. That's working. So we need to start thinking about, as well as food, which I still haven't thought about. We do need to start thinking about transformers. Now, I had a look at the power grid, and there did seem to be, we're sort of split into the bubblers and stuff up here. That I could probably get rid of that, to be honest, because there's not going to be anything in there. So let's go deconstruct wires, take those out. But otherwise, no, there's sort of two levels. You've got this kit here, and perhaps you've got all the kit down here. And I was sort of thinking, if I can put a power transformer in here, just to power the stuff down below it at a different rate. Now, I don't know how these things work, I must admit. I was perhaps going to put power transformer, sort of heavy watt wire here, and then power transform it for the rest of the base. But said not knowing how it works, I'm going to have to think about, well, do a little bit of experimentation. So let's take some normal wire, and there does seem to be an in and an out on this. So if I come into there, come to deconstruct, click a wire and deconstruct that wire, and come back in again, and then go out to that. Well, we'll have to make this a fairly high priority. Let's go for an 8 through there. I'll make that an 8 as well. Yes, because what's happened here is my scrubber's not scrubbing because it's not doing this. I wonder if I can, rather than put it through the purifier, I can put it straight into here. Let's try that. I could even try just putting a separate line in. So if there is any sort of blockage, it can go like that. Right, well this seems to be working. What's it doing? I don't know. It's producing 5 watts of heat, it's 1,000 joules of power. Well, let's have a quick look at see if this makes any... oh, I see. Does it act as... It's got 1,000 joules of power, it's powered up. The scrubber's not working at the moment. Let's turn the thermo switch on. Now let's have a look at the power and see what's happening here. Right, so I've got 1,000 joules. So providing what we got here. I've got to do some maths. What's the relativity between, this is pumping out power at 800 watts. Now, is that pumping it back through here? Will this power this anyway? Is it going to charge the batteries? To be honest, I don't know. But looking at my... I have to have a look. So next time something... These are all measured in watts. So what's the relationship between joules and watts? Joules is energy, watts is power. Power equals... that's current times voltage. That doesn't help. No, I'd have to go and have a look at my bloody... I'd go and look at my physics books. Crikey. Back to school. Or go and read up somewhere about the relationship between joules and watts. But anyway, this seems to be producing 1,000 joules. I'm assuming, providing I don't overload it down here, it'll be fine. Now this up here seems to be getting... that's not running any power. Do I need to wire my generator straight into something else? I'd like to perhaps run the generator into... Let me have a quick look at my power. Right, okay, so I've got a main power line. This comes out of here. My... Yeah, this comes in through here. That feeds that, so that feeds that. If I take this... Where's my deconstruct wires? If I come back into my here... If I deconstruct this and run my main power lead from here along here and up into there, see if that makes any difference maybe. And if we are still getting power outage, perhaps I need to... Now this has all gone yellow. Right, what's this tell me here? power consumers, liquid scrubber, air scrubber, gas filter, gas pump. There are no generators on this circuit. Okay, so there are no generators on this circuit, but for some reason that's gone down to 0 now. Now it's powering up. Power stored, power consumed. Not sure how this is working. I've got no battery power. Okay, I'm going to sort of play around with this a little bit, and I'll bring you back. And I think I've sort of figured out what we need to do here. The problem I've got is, yeah, I haven't got my generators really sort of close to where I need to put my batteries necessarily, but I can do this in a number of ways. What the transformer does is the transformer can be powered by as much as you like, but it will, so you can put your heavy-watt wire in here, which takes, coming up to heavy-watt wire, I can't remember what it's saying, 20 kilowatts. So you can have a main backbone of heavy-watt wire. Biggest problem with heavy-watt wire is the decor is a 6-tile radius of -25, so it's really ugly stuff, and you can't run it through floors, walls, ceilings, etc. Not even doors. So you need a main backbone of power, which you could perhaps run up the outside, so it's hidden and well out of the way. And then off of that, you run your transformers. Now each transformer can take 1 kilowatt of power, so you can tell your maximum wattage for your little wires is 1 kilowatt. So that's what supplies from the transformer. And as long as you only have a maximum of 1 kilowatt or 1000 watts of kit running off of it, so again coming back to our electrical thing, you can see, for instance, it could run say 4 pumps on 8 of these thingies here, and yeah, so at some point I'd imagine, at the moment, for instance, this is producing 800 watts, these up here are producing 400 watts each, and this here is also 800 watts. I can't remember what a coal generator is off the top of my head, but something tells me it's 800 watts again. Now at the moment, inputting power onto the system doesn't count towards it. But I'd imagine in a future update what they're going to say is, right, okay, this 800 watts, if you had one of these and one of these, you're now producing 1.6. You won't be able to power, that will contribute to overloading the small wire. So you're going to have to put these somewhere, run big fat cable away from them to the batteries, and then from the batteries run a big fat cable supplying your transformers, which will then produce your mini circuits. So for instance, on this circuit here at the moment, I have got, hang on, we'll go back to here. You can see I've got 100, I think that's 120 in there, 240 in there, 120 in there, so that's 480. So that's roughly half of the power I need for this system, which is fine. The other bits I've got here, I'd need to run, if I run, say, a power transformer off, you need to think of the little sub-circuits of where you're going to run stuff from. So looking at this, for instance, I have 120, 120, 120, 120, so I could run this separately off a separate wire, and that will also run 1000 or 1 kilowatt. Or that, I could consider that to be, well, it's half a circuit. Want to build a bit of redundancy in. These here are another half circuit. These here are probably, particularly once I stick another couple of ones in, that's going to be a circuit on its own. So, transformers, what's the ugliness of a transformer? 10 over a 2-file radius, so again, I just don't want to leave them lying around in the middle really, or I want to put them around places. So I need to have a look at my power. I need to look at, okay, I quite like having the batteries over here, they're warming, they're cooling in that area here, but having said that, looking at the temperature, I could easily put some batteries over here, and they're not going to overheat the base at all. And I'm toying with the idea of running some heavy-watt wire over here, putting lots and lots of paintings and things around it, and then powering stuff off along here on my little transformers. So I'm going to have a quick think about what I'm going to do with that. In fact, we will start off first. I need to plug that, and that'll be hydrogen here from that. I've moved this across, by the way. Here, hydrogen. And because everything's overloaded, I'm sort of running a bit low on power, so I need to sort that out fairly smartish. And then I really must start thinking about some food, because the longer I wait, the more stressy these things are going to get. So while I think about it, let's put another massage table in here. Put some floors across here, and some electrical wiring in there. Okay, so I'm going to sort of plug out some batteries in places and rewire some of this. In fact, we want to deconstruct wires, no, cancel wires. Cancel all that down through there. Get this scrubber going, and then this natural gas will come down and I can pump it out with that. So let's turn that off for the minute. And I'll bring you back. And as you can see, I've decided to run the cable inside the base, but over on this side. But if you look at the decor hit on it, I mean, they built this bit here, but no matter what I put in here, these tables have got to go. These tables are going to have to go over here. The storage compactors decor is pretty poor. I'm going to perhaps have to move these storage compactors. I want to keep the beds in a pretty area, so all this has got to be kept green. We'll get rid of all this stuff on the floor in a minute, and I want to keep the relaxation area, and obviously any place like here where they're running, I want to keep that green. But look, this I don't know if I enable that building there. Can somebody come along and enable it? Does that make a difference to? Oh, it does. If I keep it enabled, it has a positive point, but these, I mean, the decor here, that's -9, but it's this cable. Look at the cable here, it's -22. It's really ugly stuff. And I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna, well, it's gonna have a negative effect, simple as that. But these tables have got to go. I can't have a meeting there. So we're going to clean up the base, move those tables out of the way, stick a load more pictures and things around. And how are we doing oxygen wise? Yeah, could do with, let's, the CO2 scrubber's doing its thing, so I need to get rid of some of this natural gas now as well. I don't know what that's going to do with the cable. Yeah, it's overloading this cable all over the place. Like, as you see, there's every now and again it pops up. Here we go, some overload damage over here. So this thing's just burning through stuff. There's batteries up there, and can really do with completing all that. Cutting this in half. But we'll get there. We'll live with it for the minute. We'll finish off building these cables and moving some stuff around, and I'll bring you back. Just thought I'd bring you back. So I'm going to choose number 8. This guy here's got. Actually, I don't know if I want any of these. Actually, he's got no particular traits. He's got cooking. I don't know if we've got a cook. We've got a decent cook. We've got several decent cooks because they've all been making mush bars. But no, his decor exploitation is -25, and he starts off on measly food. So I'm going to print him. And that'll take me up to 8. So I'll stop there for the minute. So we're going to disable the building. And just down here, I have started. Well, first thing I started doing is, because this side of the base is getting a little bit on the chilly side. And they all keep saying, this guy here keeps saying he's cold. Yeah. And yeah, it's supposed to be temperate, but there we go. It's getting a little chilly on this side of the base, so I have sort of said, right, okay, what I'll do is I will we'll put some of this insulated tile stuff in. You can see that's just starting to get a little bit warm. Just made it out of sandstone, nothing special, not absolute or anything like that. We'll just see if this side of the base starts to warm up a little bit, especially when I start using my generators, etc. And oh, it's glowing. Never noticed it glow before. I need to turn this on. Get rid of some of this natural gas. And you can see we're starting to change off some of the floors as well. So really just sort of tidying the base up. I have done a fair bit of sweeping. Got some little bits and pieces. Yeah, they are starting to build the batteries down here, no problem. And I've put what I've done with this is I'm going to split these up into two. I wonder, does it feed backwards? Good question. Let's deconstruct that a minute, because they are connected. If I deconstruct that, wires, so delete those two wires. Does it feed back through? Are they just one way? So have a look at the here. Okay, so now, right, well, I need to make these fairly high priority. Go and do those two. Right, now go back to my electrical splot. I could probably do away with this, or I could bring another transformer, stick it over here somewhere, because they're a little bit on the ugly side. It makes it a little bit easier if I can figure out what's going on. Right, I need to keep an eye on these batteries. I might not need these batteries, or I need to perhaps plumb these batteries straight in via little wire to the mainframe, or the main cable, or whatever. That's going to get finished off in a minute. Don't think... Yeah, right, by the looks of things then, I have... These are full. This is powering this little section here. And all this down here says it's flat, so because they're connected, they're not connected through here, so a little bit disappointing there. I could just draw a little wire up, or I could just wait until... What does that need? What's that need to connect then to power this little lot? Basically it needs to be connected to some batteries which have got some power in them, which this doesn't have. So need to prioritise, make it an 8. Need to prioritise that cable there, so we're charging up these batteries here. Right, the other thing I've done is come over here and I've started my little bristle-bottom mom. What I've got here is 3 fertilizer tiles and 3 hydroponic tiles. Sorry, 3 farm tiles and 3 hydroponic tiles. I've chucked a cable in from here to here, and I'm going to feed them with polluted water. Polluted water is going to come off of the fertilizer makers here and into here. And I'm hoping if it's polluted water, come down to my food. These hydroponics here, you see, hydroponics affects plant fertilization and affects plant irrigation. This one here is just fertilization. Now, I don't know quite how this is going to work. If I pump in polluted, perhaps it'll make it fertilized, because I haven't plugged anything into these. I want to see if these automatically become fertilised because they get fed by the dupes or what. So it'd be a good little experiment, that. Once they get around to making it. Excellent. Right, now back to my electrical plant then. Everything's flashing yellow and I don't quite know why. Well, perhaps I do on... Right, on this circuit here then. Actually, let's have a look. If I get rid of... Let's have a look at this... Let's deconstruct him. And now I can have a look at... Where's my electrical diagram? Right, so I've got I want 1000 watts off of here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 240 and another 220 and a 120 and a 240. So it's going to be a bit overloaded, that. So possibly I want to keep these on one and then perhaps build some more stuff over here. This top one here, for instance, I have 1,000, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, it's a pity they're not all divisible by 1,000, but there we go. So 1, 2, and we said it's 8 120s or 4 240s, because 4 240s make a 880? No. 4 240s make a 480. No. Oh, come on. Why my brain doesn't work, I don't know. This is basic sums, come on. Right, 10 120s will give you 1,200, which is too much. So it's 8 of these, or 4 of the 240s. Because 240 and 240 is 480, plus 480, 480 is 960, which is, you know, it's a little bit less, but yeah, fine. So come back here, I'll need to put another line in, I expect. So I'm going to put, obviously these are feeding, if the power doesn't feed backwards, it means I have to have my generators on this side. And I need to perhaps have a line that runs across here to feed these batteries, or make sure these batteries are feeding this side of the transformer, or I'll keep the batteries this side because they're not running, they don't contribute to the power at the moment. So it's 20 kilowatts, isn't it, for these? Yes, 20 kilowatts, so there's plenty of power there. So if I break this here, build another one here. In fact, what we will do is we will deconstruct down through there for a start. I don't want it connected to that side. Just going to deconstruct. Yeah, no, I'm on electricals only. Fine. So that's that. And then I want to... Well, forget about these batteries down here for the minute, but I will deconstruct here. And we will power those off of another one. We'll build a power one up here. Power transformer. Here. And plug heavy-watt cable into that side. And electrical wire into... That will come down, come through the floor. There. So that'll power... Let's have a quick look now. Right, so I have 240, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. I want no more than 8 things, or 8 units. Let's call them electrical appliance units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Too many. But I won't necessarily use all these all the time, so that's fine. So yeah, these are not going to use it all the time. So I'm going to live with that for the minute. And we'll just prioritise those because I want to get those. I want to get these powered up fairly quickly. In fact, we're going to sweep through here. Get this coal and stuff out of the way, really. I can put, you know, I can drop. If I build something there, I can drop some sandstone for a little thing to eat. But I'm not using any coal at the moment, so I'm not too worried. The next thing is, yeah, still looking at power here. So that's, I said, you know, there's more than 8 there, but I'm not using them all the time. Down here it's a different. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They're being used all the time. The food thing's being used all the time. So that's 5, 6. And then a bubbler, so that's being used all the time. I've got a door, but they're not used. I assume they're only drawing power when they are used. So I'm okay on that circuit at the moment, ignoring the generators and batteries. And then down on this circuit I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 of those, and we'll deconstruct this extra wire here. We'll deconstruct this wire here. I'll probably run it through the floor because I probably want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a bit of spare on there. So I want yet another transformer then. Amazing how many transformers you're going to get on these. No. Stick him there, and we'll join him up with some bit of mesh tiling in there. And again, heavy watt wire to go in, and then light wire through the floor into that circuit. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different circuits. A couple of those are full. I don't want anything more on this top circuit really. I'll split it off again, and I don't really want too much more on this one down here. Now all this is stopped for the minute, so I'm going to prioritise this and that heavy cable as well. So that's my electrical stuff sorted out. Right, let's plant a couple of bristle blossoms in here. Only had 3 or 4 bristle blossom seeds. Probably pluck a few more if there are any growing. But I want to polish off. Let's just prioritise. There's a 7, this pipe work as well. Now, put this inside a cooling box or a thermulated box here, because I do want to make sure it's this keeping the temperature in here varies quite a bit between 3 and -5. Why have we got a bristle blossom in there? I planted these 2 but not that one. Okay. We cancel that then. Uproot that one and put them in a normal farm tile. Uproot that one. Cancel that uproot. Put them in the first ones. Now this bristle blossom, it's awaiting irrigation, and it's not getting irrigated because I've got no power. Well, I've got no power through there, I suppose. Let's turn that off for the minute. Got no power because nothing's running. Let's turn that on because that will power that, which should power up through there, and we should be on the way. That's disabled at the moment. Come on, power. It's not powered because perhaps I need to build a few batteries here or there. Right, sort out a couple of teething problems and bring you back.